And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 250, and we are joined by a very special guest here. She is from the Jobber podcast, representing that Jobber network. We have Janelle from HR. Good afternoon, good evening, I should say. It's been a long day, so I'm still out of it. But what's going
Listen,
on,
how
Janelle?
are
How's
you?
it going?
How are you? Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting. First of all, that intro,
Uh,
Loki, I'm jealous.
Thank
I
you,
feel
thank you.
like I feel like ours is cool, but like yours, like that. I was sitting here like, okay, is that a real song or someone
Yes,
made that song for you?
yes. That
Oh,
was
okay.
actually Stephen Crick's Jessica Havoc's brother made that song.
Wow. Well,
So
shout
it
out
does.
to him because I was sitting here like, oh, let me put this on my Spotify. Like, okay. But no, I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk some wrestling and any and all questions. I'm here. So
No, definitely can't wait. Again, this has been something we've been trying to do for a minute, but again, like I said, that busy schedule, especially you guys are killing it over there. So we're gonna get into all of that. But before we get into all of that craziness, I do have to ask you the question. I ask everyone that comes on. You heard the name of the show. It's called Respect the Craft. So for
mhm.
you, when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean to you?
Craft to me is creativity, and it could be in so many different ways. And whether it's in wrestling, outside of the ring, inside of the ring, it's just you're creating something. It's creativity. And I feel like whenever I've always thought of wrestling, I always thought it was creativity is what gets us as fans. It's like whether it's the gimmicks, the music, how they walk out, their promos, like all of that stuff. It encompasses a craft of everybody, and everybody has their own individual craft and creative mind. So I think it's a very interesting take on just generalizing something, but creativity is what we all do as content creators. We try to have different shows, we have different ideas. So I everybody does it in their own way, and I think that's what makes it unique, whether it's in or out of the ring. It's what I've learned. So
No, gotcha. Definitely so. And again, it's something where again, especially as content creators, finding that uniqueness, finding what it is that sets you apart and sets what your brand is. So that's definitely the biggest part of all this. But now going into that, because usually I love to ask this part of it. So I want to ask for you, what was it that made you decide to step into the content creation game and step into this part of the craft here?
So, as many may or may not know, Wilkins I met through the viewing parties. But I was his very first one.
Okay.
Didn't know him a can of paint. But then over the years, over the time, we become that's family. That's my big brother. So that's my best friend. So my best friend had an idea of wanting to do a podcast, and as a good friend, I think anyone should do. They should sacrifice themselves for the greater cause. So that's really what happened. Was Lucas wanted to start a podcast, and he posted. I'll never forget it. He posted on Facebook looking for a female to be on the podcast, and I messaged him like the audacity of you not to ask me. Like, what is that about? But then he goes and says, you're busy. That's always the thing. You're busy. I
Yeah.
don't want to bother. And I'm just like, no, like if this is your dream, if this is a goal of yours, and I see it, something that could be really dope, let's do it. Let's do it together. So it started off as that. So it was just me being the good friend. And
Yeah.
I said, all right, I'll be a part. And it just went into all of what it is today. And I look back even now because in real lifetime we're gonna record tomorrow, and it's our 300th episode. So for us to look back, thank you. So to look back, and as many as we've done it just seems like yesterday we just started recording.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to look now 300 episodes later, like, oh my god, we've created so many different things, and given back to the wrestling community in so many different ways. So yeah, just him. I was a good friend. Let's just say that.
Hey, and
I still am.
it became something so more. And again, that's why that was another reason I was glad we could finally do this, because when I had Mr. Black on, I made sure as well to give you guys your flowers. Like, you guys have definitely been as much as there's unfortunately so much negativity in this community, you guys have definitely been that great just shed of light. Like what you
Oh,
guys do from the creating to the parties, now being a part of that Bow Club family as well, on more of the business side as well, just getting to actually uprise in that in the community instead of it's so easy for a lot of creators, they do the negative side because like, oh, that tracks. Doing it that way, it gets them the views, it gets them whatever they want. But doing it the right way and bringing that positivity, it shows, hey, it can be done. And it's shown again, 300 episodes. It is definitely no small feat.
whew,
Again, I
my
give
God, like
like,
thank you, thank you, thank you. And like it, like even yesterday or the other day, Wilkins had texted us and said 299, and I was just like, "What are you talking?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "The episode," and I go, "Oh, okay." I said, "So are we wearing something special?" Like then I started asking questions, but no, no, thank you. Like in all honesty, the podcast started out of just randomness, fun, and once again, we all love wrestling and we all have different point of views of it, so it just became something of like there was no other no other group really doing males and having a female on talking about wrestling. And the one thing I always take away, because people always want to give us our flowers, which we appreciate, but really there is no us without people like you and people that have supported us in many different ways, whether it's financially, physically, spiritually. Shout out to Courtney. All of the love and support we've gotten over the years is really what keeps us going. So, for people to just to reach out and just say, yo, we love what you guys do. You guys inspire us. And it's just like, keep going. Because that you keep going is what makes us keep going.
no, definitely. And again, it's that thing again to see truly again how the community thrives and how everyone's been able to again network, especially at the parties. I remember just seeing everyone. You go for the event, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch the show, but everyone is talking like, oh yeah, I'm doing this week, or this is coming up, and we got this, or what are you gonna be doing for this? And it grew like it's a whole network tree right there, and it's become something that again, it's just it's a whole community now, which I love to see.
No, you and me
Especially,
both. I love it for us, especially here in New York. I love
yeah,
it. Say what you want about our New Yorkers, but no, like just the unity and us supporting each other, like no matter whether it's the good time, the lowest, the highest.
yeah.
Like I've loved the community we've been able to cultivate, that everybody's been able to show up for each other in many different ways. And I always say wrestling blessed me with the amazing amount of friends that I have and family that I gained. So like I'm always in debt to wrestling at the end of the day.
No, definitely so. Again, I've been lucky to, as I say, a lot of people, especially when you're in the business, it's like, oh, wrestling doesn't owe you a thing, but it does give you a lot. It gives you a lot, and I'm glad I've made a bunch of friends through this business now, and even hey, even more co-hosts because I've been able to join the Knuckleheads. Shout out to them. That's my family there
I
too.
love for you.
And
I love the fact that people can just come together
no,
and just say, let's work together and
no,
let's build each other. And that's really what it is about at the end of the day.
no, definitely. And again, it shows that you can do this the right way and do that and be able to come together and make big things. And again, all for that love of professional wrestling here. So now I do want to ask that though. Again, figuring out for you guys what Jabba Tears was going to be, finding that and just that creativity. How was that process for you guys? Once you guys went from, oh, we this is the dream, we want to do something like this, but then figuring out what this was going to be.
So I think it always, for me, looking back,
Yeah,
um, we always stay true to ourselves. No one
okay,
ever changed. Like what you see is what you get. It's
gotcha.
probably one of the rarest things, but what you see is what you get. You're gonna get New York. You're gonna get the grittiness. You're gonna get the hot takes. You're gonna get all of that. So in the very beginning, I think we all had decided, like, listen, the negative is gonna be the negative. Positive is gonna be the positive, but always just stick true to our foundation of the three of us and we'll be okay. And trust me, I that first season, baby, that first year, baby, you guys are lucky you get the job of this podcast. And it might have not been one after that first year, because at the end of the day, we are still individuals and we all have our own individual goals. And I think that also played a part in how the podcast grew. Every year, we always set goals for each other individually and us as a group, and we stuck to them, and we kept each other accountable for those things. But just in terms of creativity, I mean, the beginning, the beginnings of the podcast, I always did the rundown sheet. I printed it for the boy. Like, I mean, we were old school with it. Like,
Yeah.
you would have thought we was on the 12 o'clock news type of thing, the mid afternoon news. So we had, we had rundowns. We always talked about, like, all right, what topics this week, what topics, we want to cover, and things of that nature. And I really wish I remember the time where we just stopped doing that
Yeah.
and we just talked. Like, as Mr. Black likes to say, we just pause. So I
Yeah.
really wish I remember when that transition happened, but there was definitely a transition where we stopped doing the, outline, and we just, for me as kind of like the moderator, I learned how to maneuver the conversation with them. So that's always been everyone's like biggest thing with me is they're like, I just love how you can handle the both of them. And I'm like, I mean, they're not, I mean, they are a lot, but they could be worse. So I love them. They, they are real life brothers. And I feel like people forget that from time to
I
time.
feel like it might be something that's like, oh yeah, you guys are just all great friends. It's like, no, they're
No,
they're related. Yeah.
they're related. And,
Yeah.
and a lot of the time, any issues, it was because they was related. So, uh,
as
but no,
as as it would be, but no, and
I,
it's the best thing of, again, that natural just change. Like, that's something, even with this podcast, I used to have. There would be a whole notebook. I still have it, just to remember that growth. I have the notebook that I had all the questions written down. Like, I would plan it out, everything I was going to ask someone, just so it's like, cool, this way I stick to a format. I I can't remember when I stopped, but it just became a thing of, I rather have a natural conversation. Like,
correct. Yeah, I really wish I remember when, but it went into that, into just us.
yeah,
We had our own format. We already knew the beginning of the show where we're gonna just talk about current things, what's hot, what's in the streets now, and then some way at the by the end we were talking about this freaking wrestling. So it just kind of like the beginning of the format. It just ended up combining, and we just kind of just made it work,
yeah,
and we just make it a conversation. And even now, like when we go live, we were very strategic on when we actually would record and post and those things. And looking back, like we were like, all right, our original dates were Thursdays because we were like, SmackDown's not on, and we used to be Wednesdays until when AEW came around. Then we switched it to Thursday. So like
yeah,
we always kind of shifted with the times. So even now, us being a Friday morning situation, it shows that it's a testament to our own growth within each other, and also just wanting to kind of like just be different still, because that's always the hard part, is like, how do we keep being fresh?
yeah,
Oh, everybody's in the game now. Like when we started, there were probably a handful of podcasters that were really just trying to do something on a consistent basis, and that was always the one thing. And even when people ask us like what advice, be consistent, because our consistency is what kept us. Shout out to my business partner in the building, Joe Kim Morales. um our consistency is what kept us here for as long as we've been. So for us, it was just like we want to make sure. That's my partner. That's my boo. That's my partner there. Um, and he's a big part. He plays actually a really pivotal point in in our relationship and how we handle the podcast too. Because even going to when Battle Club used to just do shows, and we would just and be like, well, how can we help?
yeah.
And we started sponsoring, and I feel like we were kind of the, I don't want to say, but I feel like we were kind of the pioneers in that. Like we our way of supporting was putting our money in our mouth where it is, kind of
Yeah.
situation. So it was like, and then and that turned into what Battle Club is today now, with me being a part of it on the ownership team, and us having job wrestling. Like it was a gradual growth
Yeah.
that I wouldn't change. Like I look back, I'll be like, oh, those fights were worth it. I wouldn't change anything in the world, because we're here. We have a bigger network of other friends that do podcasts, such as you guys at the Knucklehead Network and things of that nature. So like everything happens for a reason, and where we've been and what we've done, it just is a testament to that. So
No, yeah, it definitely, again, it shows, and that growth has definitely come with a lot of stride. It continues to grow. It continues to become something even greater. And again, those bonds that are now formed, and those partnerships, it all works out to continue to become something even bigger. So, But again, shout out to Joaquin Morales as well in that chat and the magic I see in the chat right there.
Oh,
And
shout out
then we
to
got Kyle as well. There you go. Shout out to Kyle. Much love to Kyle.
my,
Even though
my
I know
girl,
any
man.
minute Kyle's about to throw some shade my way just because
No,
he's
well, I
still
mean,
not a fan of
listen,
mine. He's not a fan
that's
of mine.
it's unfortunate because that's just the Virgo in us sometimes, and we just like what you we gonna say it and then be like, oh, we probably shouldn't have said that, but we
Yeah.
really still stand on that. But so no, but Kyle's family, like it's the 6 degrees of separation. Ray, let me tell you, it's serious, okay? His baby mom's is my longest time friend, okay? Like,
Oh,
so
that's
we're
awesome.
always we were connected from that. So now seeing him being a part of wrestling and things of that nature, like I'm like, all right, I'm glad.
Oh man, gotta love it. Gotta love it. And but no, let's keep it going here because another main reason we're here as well is to talk about that company we mentioned earlier, and that is going to be Battle Club Pro. As Let's Go is happening live this Sunday. We're back in Brooklyn, and what a
Yes.
stacked card. So before we even get into the card, I want to talk about that, just what it means to you, Janelle, to see Battle Club. It's back here in Brooklyn this Sunday afternoon.
It's a breath of fresh air. It's a beginning of everybody's in their new era. So, at the beginning of a semi new era, just us coming back, especially to Brooklyn, our home on Ellery. It means that, we're ready to give back to the community. We're ready to give back to those that love professional wrestling. Like
Yeah.
we're ready to just, be able to give you guys, like I've always told Joe and the boys, I'm quality over quantity. Like these things where I threaten them at times about how many matches to the point, like for real, like I threaten them, be like, listen, we not doing more than this because it's about the quality, and we have such a quality card, and we'll go over that. But just our foundation in Battle Club, like me coming into the team, and Joe spearheading a lot of things, but also teaching me just the business of it. Like I look at wrestling so differently now than I did 3 4 years ago, and it's because of doing independent shows and doing sponsoring and doing of these things, especially after the pandemic. So like for us to come back, because it did take some time, especially after the pandemic, but us coming back and right before summer of 2024, being able to give people a little taste of what they're gonna get in August of 2024 for Job Wrestling 4, but we're in a really good space. We have the new building for the school for Fallout, so
Yep.
that's been really good for them, and just cultivating that talent, and and showcasing what New York talent looks like, because I think that's always been a big thing. Sometimes is when we do independent shows, it's like, well, are the New York talent getting the love, and I do feel like this is like one of those cards that it's a give back more than anything.
No, definitely so. And again, it's just that perfect mix that you get to see a great showcase of that New York talent, but also a little mix in if you get some that sometimes you won't get to see as much in the NYC scene, but they fit in so well and it works with just how the Battle Club family is. So it's always great to see. And see, this is what I said. I knew Kyle was going to say something. Now Ray's new wrestling
First
name
of
is a
all,
Crimson.
that's a wonderful gimmick. If you're gonna be honest with each other, like that's not bad. It could be worse.
It could be. It could be.
Wait, so
It
if
could
you
be.
what would be your wrestling name? Like what would you have like you come out and Shane announcing you? What would you want him to I had to make it real
See,
for you for a
see
second.
the problem is that uh, I don't know if you know this. It's supposed to happen tomorrow.
Yes,
I'm
no,
supposed to
I
get
am well
announced
aware.
by
Shout out
Shane
to
Fair
Trey
tomorrow.
Rosado holding it down in the boogie down tomorrow night. No, I am well aware. Listen, just because I don't always say, don't mean I don't always know. So I know what's going on. I'm trying to figure out how you even got yourself in this.
At this point, again, I don't even know. Like I thought everything was cool and clear, and yeah, I'm somehow in a match tomorrow, and I'm still trying to make sure I'm good because, like I've stated, I have to do Spanish commentary on Sunday. I'll be doing
Okay.
our Spanish commentary for Battle Club Pro, and
Like our first time doing it, so like you gotta be there.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what
Okay, listen,
happens.
we gonna pray. We gonna pray for you. I think it'll
There-
be good though.
it definitely will. But there we go. We got Rob Williams in the chat as well. Much love
Shout
for
out to
Rob
Rob.
and everything over there as well at the Bob Culture Podcast. Kyle challenge. What challenge, Kyle? What are we accepting? Okay,
Listen,
we're gonna.
he loves you. He loves you. Don't worry about it. He loves
we're gonna keep going here. We're gonna get into the card as we're gonna start off with this one, a huge matchup here, as it's going to be the survival of the fittest for the Fallout Shelter Championship, as it will be defending champion Big Cuzzo going head to head with Rayhan. You got Aaron Ash, Pretty Boy Smooth, Chris Kaluta, and then Vacant. Which Vacant is pretty booked up this weekend. He's got 3 spots on this show.
Listen, Vacant
Vacant's
is
doing the thing.
outside. Vacant is outside. I don't know if y'all know. Vacant is outside. So no, listen, it's just basically big me slapping me. I just want to be honest with y'all. That's where the whole whole gimmick came from. But no, what's really cool is, of course, Ray. Shout out to Rayhan, a part of Jabba to the South. So always good to see him come up to New York as he loves to come up. But what I actually love about this match is actually Pretty Boy Smooth making coming back to Battle Club Pro after some time. And
Yep.
he's from New York. Like, he's a native New Yorker. So to have him come and perform, in front of friends and family, so that'll be dope. But I think Cuzzo's still gonna, have some, some dance moves for us. So I kind of see him retaining. I'm not gonna lie.
I, again, I as the again as a commentator on Sunday, I got to be unbiased here. But I'm looking forward to see what happens because again, that's going to be a huge collision. I hope the ring could withstand this. I
I
hope the
think it
ring could
could. I
I
think it.
hope the ring could withstand this. But also, again, with that vacant spot, who could it possibly be? We saw the promo earlier yesterday. Nair Robles possibly like tossing her name in the hat when it comes to that match, or some matches we'll be having later on that we're going to talk about. So who
Absolutely. So
knows?
I
Because
mean, listen.
again,
Now, just because I tell people it's funny because most of the time we'll talk about the matches.
yeah,
Let's pull the curtain a little bit. So we talk about the matches, but I actually prefer not to know.
yeah,
I purposely like just kind of stay out of that part of it because I'm just like, at the end of the day, I'm still a fan, and I want to still at least have a little bit of fun
of
with
course.
business. So I don't know who the mystery person is. But I do think they will definitely be able to carry themselves. So I will say that.
There you go. Especially in a field like this, again, it's survival of the fittest. But like the whole card is showing, it is intergender. The whole card will be intergender. So we'll
So we
see. We'll
already
see.
know Vacant is Mrs.
So
Vacant.
we'll see who that possibly be, whoever she is. Let's see how much they will last in a true just huge hoss field here. So we shall see what happens this Sunday. But from that championship match, we're going to continue here with another huge collision, as it will be the
Woo.
Inner City King, one of the coaches at the Fallout Shelter. You have the veteran Jorge Santi going head to head with the Megasis Megan Bain, making her way back to Battle Club Pro after a huge excursion in Japan, doing her thing over there, and now making her way back here to Battle Club Pro.
So shout out to her because she's definitely been shining and over in Japan. She definitely's had some matches in AEW. So no, we do appreciate her coming out. But I'm unlike your commentary. I'm not. I can be biased. I'm gonna go with Jorge Santi because he's hot. So it's gonna. It's like
See, in this one, I might have to be just a little biased. I have to go with the coach just because, again, shout out to the Fallout Shelter. With this one, I'll be a little biased. Don't tell Megan because she's the Megasis for a reason. I
but
don't
I
want to
won't tell her.
I don't want to get into more trouble here by picking sides. See, this is why I'm trying to learn to be unbiased because I think my
Listen,
mouth has gotten me in trouble a few times now.
I've learned it is so hard to be Switzerland in wrestling. It's not
It,
even funny. So
it unfortunately is, and unfortunately is, especially as we continue with this card. But no, this one I'm looking forward to see what could possibly happen. Again, Jorge Santi is a true just he is that technician for a reason. He's a master of the craft. But Megan, again, she's been killing it. She's learned different styles. Her size definitely helps. She is a taller competitor than most that we see in that Battle Club ring. So it's going to
Correct.
be truly that test in this one. So you guys are in for a treat on Sunday. But we keep it going with another collision here, as it will be. We're going to continue with the Fallout theme here, as it will be a Fallout Fatal 4-way. You got Brian Baum, Nikki Duke, AJ Slater, and again, Vacant is putting in that work. But
Yeah,
now the question is, well, earlier we kind of gave you a little bit of a hint. It will be a Mrs. Vacant, but now we don't know. We don't know who it could possibly be, because now we
this
have we have again three great competitors in there, all representing the Fallout shelter. But who could it possibly be?
I feel like my spirit tells me. Once again, guys, I don't know. Even though I am part of the team, but I feel like this one you may see a Mister Vacant.
Okay. Okay.
But I absolutely love it. He knows this. I love Brian Baum so much. Like I love the gimmick. I love the attitude. I love the dedication to the character. I love everything about Brian Baum. So I'm gonna go with him, but I don't know. But Mr. Vacant, I guess it depends on who that may be.
Well then, you know what? Just because again, this way no one can get mad. I'm gonna go with possibly Vacant, shocking everyone and
Ooh,
getting the win. So I'll do that. I'll do
I
that.
like
That way,
that.
no one could get
That
mad because we don't know who Vacant is. So
I feel like you may have a little bit more of a hint.
I don't
So
know. I do not know anything. Like I said, I am just the broadcaster. That is all. That is all. But we're going to keep going here with another championship matchup, as this
ooh,
actually was the first matchup when we kicked off the announcements, as it will be for that Nemesis Battleweight Championship, as the torture artist Prince Ahmed defends against current TNA knockout herself, Russian Dynamite Masha Slamovich. This one, so much on this one. Not only is it a title match, but also it's coach versus coach here. So much bragging rights, so much in this one. And
all the students will be watching. They'll be looking through the curtain because that's what they normally try to do and be low. But I see them. They're gonna peek through the curtain to try to see both their coaches. But I think it's a level of respect there, and I think that especially what Masha's been able to do, just even the last like few weeks alone, like her going against Shayna Baszler during WrestleMania weekend. All the matches she has coming up. Like, she's been definitely making moves. So I definitely think it'll be very interesting. And I'm gonna go Team Girl because Masha definitely has been making huge statements in the wrestling world. So I'm really proud of her, and I think it'll be a great showcase for the students. This one is definitely a give back to the students because
oh,
to see
definitely.
both of
This
their
is
coaches, they'll be there's that's there's a level of respect there that all of the students have for their coaches. So
yeah.
it'll be just a fun match.
No, this is definitely going to be one of those where we just to pull the curtain back a little bit. This is definitely going to be a locker room sellout. Like everyone is going to be wanting to watch this just to see what could happen. Again, you have two of the coaches. You have two that again are just so innovative when it comes to their craft. And again, I just can't wait to. This is one where I always love to call a Prince of Med match, but I also hate to call a Prince of Med match because it's like, how do I call a move that doesn't have a name for it? Like he just creates something that it's like, I'm gonna call it this, but I don't think that's what it is. Like it's one of those where it's just it's
Whatever
so
you call
amazing
it
though.
moving forward, that's what it will be. hmm
Like,
Whatever you wrestle for us, that's what it will be.
oh man, again, I do not envy our English commentary who then have to also do it. But again, for Spanish, you'll be hearing what I have to say, guys. But hold on, let me go to the comments one sec because Kyle's is yelling
Sure.
at me to read the comments. This is the first time two people who are not wrestling at Battle Club Pro but work under them are on a pod. Hey, there you go. There we go.
Probably
So
her, yeah.
there you go. Here we go. We got everything. This is
They
this is
got
what the Battle
history.
Club Pro family does. But
Yeah,
we
we
keep it
support each
going.
other. We support each other.
We got to. But we keep it going here as with this next one, as it will be for those Battle Club Pro Tag Team Championships, as it will be the defending champions, the Scotto Ricans, Dave Rivera and KJ Mack defending against Nimrod to share it here, and Sammy Chaos. And this one, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the social media banter with what Dave's been trying to do. And
So I feel like David put in a good effort to get Sammy's attention, but I still do not think that she's probably gonna take up on any offer that he has. But it's an A for effort for me. So
I again, it's one of those words like you're playing with fire here, Dave, because I don't think it's too much of a secret either. Again, what Sammy Chaos is capable in that ring, why she is the harvester of sorrows for a reason. But then again, she keeps up for herself. Like she can handle herself. There's no secret to that. But then you also have to remember a certain ruler that is also very, very close to her, and Aaron Ash.
very close.
I don't know if Dave knows what he's doing here. Like,
It's giving me. You remember back when kind of when Eddie was trying to like court China. It's giving me those vibes.
I,
But no, I mean, that's what the A for effort, David. Listen, that's a ballsy move to do. Okay, but shout out to Aaron Ash though. He's my fellow. We we both went to St. John's University, so that's my Johnny. That's my
hey, there
fellow
you go.
Johnny there. So it's always good to see him come up. But yeah, I'm just gonna pray for David. And that's gonna be that. But I do see the tag champion still coming up on this one. I do think as amazing Nimrod, shout out to Nimrod, and as amazing as Sammy is, I think somebody may be paying attention to other things more than the other. So
That that's also my issue with this. That I feel like that might unfortunately cost the Scottaricans the tag team titles here, because
the
I feel
distraction.
like there's that just dissension when it comes to the focus here. KJ Maxx seems like he's ready. He's always willing to fight. Gotta love that Scott spirit about him. But when it comes to Dave, I don't know if he's ready. Has he been putting in those reps, or has his focus just
Or
been on?
could it could it just be a mind game trick and we just all sitting here watching a good old social media clip when this is all a part of the major plan?
I I hope so, because if not, again, if they don't come taking this challenge seriously, we might see new champions when it comes to Sunday.
Let's see what happens.
But also, I do have to remind everyone, because this is still in play as well. If I'm not mistaken, Sammy Chaos still has something that guarantees her a championship shot anytime she chooses.
I
So
think she may play the Damian Priest,
no,
part and hold on to it a
I,
little
I
bit
would
longer.
I, would- I would assume so, but again, that's something to also keep in mind, not only for the Scottaricans, but just any champion when it comes to Sunday afternoon. So just a little reminder to anyone. I don't want to snitch. I shouldn't have probably said this, because now Sammy
No,
Chaos is gonna
listen,
have some.
information is power. So
It
let the
is.
people
It is.
know. Shout out to the best big man in the business, Vince, still in the building.
There you
Listen,
go. Much love to Vince. Much love to Vince Steele. There we go. We got my brother Kenny in the chat. She better
shout
cash
out
in
to
this.
Kenny.
See, I know why Kenny's saying that, because I know exactly who Kenny wants her to cash in on.
Well,
Ah,
Kenny,
come on,
let's
Kenny.
take our time. Let's like this is our first show back, and it's our first show 2024. So let us get our feet wet a little
This
before
un
pull the
poquito,
trigger.
un poquito.
We
That's
still
all.
got what 2, 3 other shows possibly within the year. So give us
Ooh,
some time.
there you go. There you go. Again, it's still all that road to Jobber Slam 2, which I can't wait. That's definitely gonna be a time we're gonna have to do another part two to this, because we're gonna have a lot to
Probably
talk
will,
about when
just
it comes to
because
that.
when we're able, because it's so hard because it's like I really want to tell, but I can't tell.
No, it's
But I will say this. So as we do talk about Let's Go this
yeah.
Sunday, I do want to let everyone know that tickets for Jabba Slam 4 will go on sale directly following the show.
There you go.
And hopefully our goal is within the first 2 weeks of May to give you guys an announcement pertaining to who will be coming to Java Slam. So that is
Ooh,
you just got a hot
there you
one on
go.
that one. I haven't told
There you go.
anyone. We are working tirelessly because every year it's like one of those things like how do we do bigger? How do we get better? Like what do we do? And like I said, it gets to a point where this is more for the community. This is more for our wrestling community. It's more for us showcasing black and brown talent. That's always the goal. So it's just that I definitely feel in my spirit this year's job wrestling will definitely take the cake. That is the
Again,
goal. So
that's awesome. And again, I can't wait again to be able to also now call this in Espanol. That's gonna just be insane.
taking it up a whole nother notch. That's adding some
Definitely.
some necessary sazon. Okay.
Hey, we need it. We need it. So we keep it going here. See, I knew it exactly what Kenny. Come on, man. Leave Cosmic alone. Leave Cosmic alone. She would make a better women's champ. Ah, come on, Kenny. Ah, long as it's not a swerve. What kind of swerve, Kenny? Let's see. Uh, hey, thank you so much for helping the viewership here. If that's the
That's
case.
on Twitch. Shout out to Twitch.
So
Anyone watching on Twitch?
there you go. Shout out to that. But let's keep it going here because this next one is another huge scenario. As now we have a little bit of another coach battle here, as it's going to be Colossal Mike Law going head to head with the Death Fighter himself, Akira, going head to head with Gia Scott, and again, Vacant making their way into this one. But
Hands down.
with this one, I kind of hope I know who Vacant is. I kind of hope
Who do
because
you
there's
think?
the rumor mill of Gino Gotts might be making his return to the ring this weekend. I
Now
kind
listen,
of hope Gino Gotts is a part of this one.
if Gino come out, I will sponsor him myself out of
There
my
you
own
go.
pocket.
There you go, Gino. You already see
They know,
that's it.
they
That's like
know I'm good for it. So if Gino decides to walk through them curtains and walk in that square circle, she ain't gonna say sponsored by Janelle Garcia herself. Okay,
oh man.
he better stay on commentary. He got no business in no damn ring.
Well,
I
I
love him
don't
to
think
death though.
I
I
don't
love
think this is
he's like
coming
one of the
from
few that can come to the barbecue, I swear. He's
yeah.
like definitely one of the few. I love Gino very much, and I love what he's done not only for Battle Club but just independent wrestling here, just in New York, Jersey, Connecticut. Like he's definitely helped pave the way. Like I honestly, my first remembering of Masha was with him. So, and it's a testament to him. So
Yeah.
definitely Gino. Shout outs to him.
No, definitely shout out to Gino there again from the broadcast team. But like I said, I don't know. He said him and Mike Law were co-champions. Maybe now I think the colossal one might have a few things to tell Gino if he's able to step in that ring this Sunday. But we shall see. We shall see again. You never know. It's always the unexpected moment, and those surprises are always happening at Battle Club Pro. So again, this is why you got to get your tickets and be there. The online sale ends tomorrow, so make sure you
Tomorrow.
get those tickets. Links will be in the description down below.
Thank you, thank you.
But
And also, if
yep.
you do, don't fret. If you did not get an online ticket, you can purchase a ticket at the door. Okay, so just people always get nervous, like, can I get at the door? I'm like, yes, you can get at the door. It's okay.
There you go. There you go. It's always gonna be a good time. Make sure you get your tickets. Be there. But see, right there, we could have ended it, and that could have been a perfect show right there.
Now
But
we got
we
a few more.
still got three more insane matches to talk about, including this one. I sat down last night with one of the competitors in this match, and I released a clip this morning, and he went on a tirade about this one because on Sunday it is a first time ever
Woo!
matchup here, as it will be. He is wrestling's richest prize. He is the All Father. He is the two-time ECWA Super 8 winner, Darius Carter, going head to head with the First Lady of Prolific, Miss What That Lariat Do, Ruthless Lala. Again, I said it to Darius last night. It's no hyperbole. This one I feel like Brooklyn's coming out to see. Like
It's the
this
match
is
of
gonna
the night.
be
This is the actuality, gonna pull the current a little bit. In actuality, this was the first match we put on paper. It was the first. It was a no brainer. Um, especially in regards to, some people frown upon intergender
Yep.
matches. You see what happened with Nyla the other day, the news with Nyla in Oklahoma and things like that. So intergender at times can be very frowned upon, but with Job in the forefront and us supporting and being there and being able to push that, we welcome everybody, no matter who they are, what they are. So it was important that our first comeback show was intergender because we wanted to showcase everyone's talent. We wanted to show that anything you could do, I could do better. And definitely with Lala and Darius, for me, they represent Black excellence in independent wrestling. For me, as a fan, as a booker, as a podcaster, as a friend, they represent Black excellence to me. So the two of them together in one ring, and it's the first time, they're gonna give you guys a show. That's the match you don't want to miss.
No, definitely not. Again, this is one where even calling it again, it's one where I can't wait to see what they do. Like this is gonna be one of those that I'm gonna have to tell Danny Nemesis, hey man, like there might be those moments that I'm just
In awe.
like, hey, you're supposed to say something. Oh, my bad. Just again, it's gonna be one of those that another one. There might be a locker room sellout. Like I feel like everyone's gonna want to watch this because it's another one where you have two again veterans of the game going at it here. This is gonna be one you guys cannot miss on Sunday.
At all.
But from that, we go to another championship match here, as it will be this one right here, as it's for the 5 points championship. It will be the finisher, Steve Pena, going head to head with Jobber Tears South member Savannah Evans. And we heard from both sides, Steve Pena willing to do whatever it takes to keep that 5 points championship. But we heard Yaya send a little bit of a little bit of a message of wanting that gold to come back to Jobber Tears South. So I can only imagine, Janelle, you might have a little bit of a
Yeah,
bias in this one.
a lot of bit of a bias here.
I was
So
trying to be nice when it came to this one,
we
but
can be
your
honest. Listen,
thoughts,
that's our motto, honesty. Listen,
of
but
course,
no,
of course.
it was when we were sitting and planning the show.
Yeah,
I think styles definitely came into play,
yeah,
and Steve's been killing it as 5 point champion. I'm never gonna take that away from him. But to have Impact's own Savannah Evans come through them curtains, and she's not no pretty girl that just know how to just ooh. No, she's a heavy hitter. So she's wrestled with some of the best,
yep.
some of the hardest hitting. So I definitely think she's not gonna back down from Steve. Um, I would love for my girl to win, so I'm gonna go, Miss Savannah Evans. But
Color me shocked. Color me shocked that that's going to be your prediction on
But I
this
wouldn't
one.
be mad, if Steve won either,
Of
because
course.
I'm a team player. But
Okay, got you. Again, with like I said, I'm going to remain unbiased in this one and just say it's going to be a killer of a match. It might be again that 5 points division. We've seen the insanity that's come out of it through matches with Brian Keefe, with matches with just Alex Kane. Like you've seen the insanity that comes when it comes to those 5 point championship matches. That again, it steals the show. So we'll see what happens
listen, if
this
Steve
Sunday.
retains, we got something real good cooking up for him for Java Slam. So that's even more incentive, Steve. If you watching, if you listening, you keep that title. May got something real nice for you coming in Java Slam in August.
Well, then. We'll make sure Steve hears that. Well, this is another clippable moment right there. So we'll do a few clips that we got to post out there for the world to hear. But another matchup that I know everyone that is watching is looking forward to, as for the
Ooh,
first
champ.
time ever, champion versus champion. It will be the franchise champion himself, the gifted one representing Jobber Tears South, Yaya, going head to head with the Icons champion, your favorite, my favorite, Cosmic. And this one right here is
This one,
Yaya's definitely he's not been everyone's
unfortunately,
friend in Battle Club Pro here. He's definitely
no,
he's
but
ruffled some feathers. Just a little.
y'all,
Just a
y'all
little.
just want better, and sometimes wanting better may have to ruffle some feathers to get it. But I do think I love the fact that we're able to do champion versus
Yeah.
champion for us. I think it's gonna be a great showcase of what both leaders of the division can do. I just hope it's clean. I just hope it's clean.
See, I wanna again be like, I think this is gonna be a nice, clean affair, but I don't see Jobber Tier South rolling without more members of Jobber Tier South coming around, especially when another member is a captain at the Fallout shelter. Anthony
Yeah.
Gamble, the newest member into the fray.
I mean, listen, I think, Gamble got a busy weekend, so shout out to him with his dog calling match tomorrow night. At We Are Wrestling. So he's a busy man. So I don't know, he'll be able to come out, he
Oh,
said so who's
okay, okay. So that
oh
that that
uh
that's something right there. That's something we could.
I am not
No,
sure, but I'm pretty sure the main event will probably be senior ref. But we shall see. I don't know.
again, come on,
I
Cal.
mean, we did give Mr. Black a very stern talk, so he is well aware that he cannot fool around and cost people things. He has to keep it fair and straight.
see, see, Mr. Black will also be very unbiased, like myself with this conversation here. I would hope, especially, unfortunately, the last show he felt what happens if you don't do that, and he felt the wrath of a Yakuza kick from one Darius Carter. So I don't know if he's gonna want to go through something like that again, but we shall
I
see.
think I think he's ready to follow directions. So that's what we
Hopefully,
gave him a
hopefully so,
stern
because
talk.
he's been feeling the wrath as of late. I saw even at Revolver recently, he felt the wrath as well. So it's I
My
don't
baby
know.
took a chair shot for the first time. He didn't know how to. He didn't even know he lost his whole life. He didn't even know what to do with himself. He thought
Uh,
about it for days. It was like one of the proud mama moments. I was just like, you got hit with a chair. Yes, you
I
did.
was watching like no, Mr. Black. I was so happy, but at the same time, like oh no.
They love he loves that stuff. He
Yeah,
absolutely. It's interesting. Like even when we started doing the podcast, I
yeah.
don't think none of us thought we would each have a different part in wrestling,
Yep. Which
and I
I
think
was
it
gonna
got
ask, like, was that ever like the
no,
goal? Again, I feel like everyone always is like, oh, I would love to do something eventually, but I don't think it's ever like the straight. This is what we set
no.
out to do.
Real quick,
Yeah.
Wilkins. One time just finished recording, and it was like a house show at the Garden. And a friend of mine had drove down for the show, so he was gonna drop me home.
Okay.
But Wilkins was with me, and we're walking. And the person that was driving me home, he actually used to wrestle, so he was asking Wilkins was asking him questions. Like when did you start training? What's the hardest part? How does it feel to take a bump? Like he just started being really inquisitive, like how he
Yeah.
always gets. We're walking towards his car, and we see Sheamus walking past us. No, Aleister Black. I was Aleister Black, just in the streets of New York on like 35th and 8th Avenue, streets of New York near the Garden, and he marks out. It's like, oh, it's Aleister Black. We're just like, bro, he didn't even want to be seen, so it was just like, you obnoxious. But after that happened, then he kept asking my friend questions,
Yeah.
and he was like, you know what? I just want one match. I just want to train and have one match.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, all right, whatever. And then not too long after that, the he started to train at House of Glory. Once again for just one match. That who knows how, when, what, how it was gonna happen. And then the pandemic happened, and then things kind of slowed down. But then when the world opened back a little bit more, he kept training. And then when he had his first match against Simon, and then hey, having the match with Darius, So one turned into a few, even though he
Yeah, because
swears he's
that bug gets you. Yeah, that bug gets you because it's like once you feel that, it's that you never want to stop. Like you could be like,
so
oh, that's it. I just want to do this one thing, and then it's like one turns into two, and two is like, you know what? This could be a normal thing.
I can do a little, yeah. So that was his thing. I think
No,
the curiosity killed the cat in that
of course,
situation.
of
He just
course,
was more curious about the in ring and him being fit and things of that nature. It came more a little natural for him.
of
With
course. Yeah,
Mr. Black, I think it just got to a point where he saw that his brother was, actually wrestling here and there
yeah.
or actually training. And then, I think for him it became more of a stress reliever. But then he wanted to figure out where his place in wrestling was because then he saw, me getting into Battle Club and promoting and booking and doing that. So now like the two of us are kind of like finding our pieces in wrestling. So he just was like, where do I fit in? So he started training at Fallout and he realized that wrestling like his body ain't it. But he found the love of being a referee and saw that being a very critical and crucial point in actually the match itself, which it is.
No, it
Um,
definitely is. Again, shout out to everyone that does play that role because it's very important to the match. It's another piece of it all. Like shout out to all referees that especially do it the right way because it tells another part of that story because it's needed. It's a much needed role. And for those that understand, especially on the other side of it, why it's so important to know what you're doing in there. It could be a lifesaver at times. So shout out to all refs and shout out to Mr. Black for doing his part so
so
well.
then with me, it became like I said, every year we always set goals for each other and ourselves. And it got to a point where I was just like, I want to do a show. Like we sponsored shows, we've interviewed people at this point, I think I've probably done commentary once or twice at this point, which I kudos to you for doing it even in Spanish, English. It is to me outside of actually taking a bump the hardest thing in wrestling commentary. I stand on that. So it got to a point where when we were talking about goals and I was like, I want to do a show.
Yeah.
I want us to do a show that showcases black and brown talent. I want us to do a show in the community and in our hood. And I want all of our friends and family to be there. And that was what Jabba Slam 1 was. And then unbeknownst to me, and this is why Joe, I always do this with him, the week of Jabba Slam, like and it's our first show, we're getting everything together. Joe says, hey, after the show, I want to talk to you about something. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing like he baited the shit out of me. He says nothing crazy. It's nothing serious. He's like, I just want to talk to you after the show
Yeah.
so we can, see what would work, what didn't work. He baited the shit out of me. So all right, I said, okay, cool. After the show, didn't think none of it. I get in the ring. We get in the ring. We open up Jobber Sam 1. My mom in the front row. She don't ever come to no wrestling show. She's not a wrestling fan. My mom in the front row. All of my friends and family is there. And when he asked me to be part owner in the ring, unbeknownst to me, blindsided me low key. And that's how that kind of became that. But it really was, I think, just my love for. I think when I realized my love for the business side of it came into play. And and I'm a team player. Like it's like you don't got to do this by yourself. We can delegate, we can work together, we can figure it out. And I think, Joe just at that time needed that type of support. And, I'm thankful that he entrusted me in being a part of on that level of the business because that's not also easy. But then, and also being a Afro Latina doing stuff in professional wrestling is
Yeah.
not easy. So, it just for me, it just it's always been bigger than us. So like for me doing what I'm doing in my part, the boys doing what they're doing in their part is just showing that, people that whether they watch the show, they support us, they sponsor, that they can do it too. Like
Yeah.
I my always thing is like if I'm doing this, I'm doing it so that somebody else can do it. And they know they can do it. And I think sometimes we forget that. Like this is all about we put as much love so that people know and they can feel it and touch it and understand like where it comes from. So yeah, all of it just was a gradual. Like I always look at, I'm like, It's low key is a joke. Like it's just like how did all this happen? Like if somebody were to do a movie on that, it just would have been like a romance comedy at its finest. It was a joke. It was like I look back, I'm like yo, we went from just doing like a podcast to now people look forward to Jarvis Land. Like that for me is everything. People legit come from near and far to come and support us. So I love the work that we do, and I'm glad that the community receives it because that's the
Yep.
biggest part of it. Like we can do all we want, but if it's not being received, then it's pointless. So I'm blessed that everybody that that even touches something of whether it's Battle Club or Jobber Tears that it gives them the encouragement to do bigger and better things.
No, and again,
Oh,
it comes with what the work you
we
guys have
got a
put in.
comment on the comments
Uh,
here.
I
We got
see. I see that again. We got Anthony Gamble in the chat. The best team in the game is going to walk away with all the
You
W in
be
their
measuring
matches.
them neck with his doc all of
Like,
that.
I
You
would.
be getting that together.
He should be getting ready, but again, I don't think you mind this comment though. I don't think you
No, I
mind
don't
this.
listen. It's all about the team. I should start
Again,
a job in the Midwest. That's gonna be the goal for 2025. Don't you? Because
well,
that actually is where that came from. It really Java Tier South was like a kind of like it was a joke, but then it
yeah,
became like a real life thing because like we ended up getting really close to all the Carolina guys and girls,
of course.
and and we just felt like family, and it was just was like the podcast was the platform, so that's how that happened, and the ultimate goal was shout out to Brian F Pro,
Hey, there you go.
amazing
Much
graphic
love,
designer
much
in the
love, and
building,
again, awesome
but yeah,
work with
we
all the graphics he's done,
all the graphics, all
except
the
one.
graphics.
I'm still mad that he made that moth graphic because
Uh,
I shouldn't. It's okay. It's okay.
Listen, if you just so happen to get like a 1, 2, 3 bin, you gotta frame that. Like you gotta frame that. I'm rooting for you.
I, I thank you. I don't think many are. I don't think many are tomorrow. Yeah. But again, it's what I was gonna say though is again giving you guys your flowers because again you guys have earned this. What the team has done, what you guys have done, what you guys have been able to create from again just the podcast and now the insane just growth from that to now with Battle Club Pro and beyond that. Because again, you guys have continued to do amazing things in the community when it comes to content creating, when it comes to the parties, when it comes to even just that outreach still, even in other companies. Like you see it, you guys are on the move. You guys are putting in that work. Even hey, we saw it not too far ago on Peacock. It was being featured. You see certain things. You see Sir Wilkins out there as well, representing the brand as well. So it's awesome to see what you guys are doing, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Oh, you and me both. Because as because as we probably are what 4 or 5 years in, heading to probably year 6. We not a spring chicken, and at the end of the day, we still are individual and we are adults and we have lives. So, this like literally this is a we here for a good time, not a long time
Yeah.
situation. So, now everything we realize everything we do within the next 2 years, it gotta mean something. So, um, so I look forward to it too. Whatever it may be, but I definitely think this year is gonna be a doozy. It's gonna be a good one.
Can't wait for that. But Janelle, I don't want to take up too much more of your time because again, it's a busy weekend, a lot to get ready for, especially Sunday, because I know it's gonna be a lot to do when it comes to show day. So I have one final question I do want to ask, and that is for yourself when it comes to again, in any way you want to answer this, what is the end goal?
Whew. That's a really good question. I feel like I ask them that more than I answer it. um, the end goal is to leave a legacy. The end goal is to leave, whether it's content creating, leave professional independent wrestling, leave it in a better shape that it was when we started. And my goal always was, and that was like one of my biggest thing with Jarvis. One was everybody that had a podcast connected, every single person. And that was always my goal because once we decide to kind of take a step back, there got to be somebody to take a step forward. So, So yeah, that's the end goal is to leave a legacy and to leave, hopefully leave the business on both ends better than it was when we started 5, 6 years ago. So which it has. We've done a lot, and professional wrestling has changed in a lot of ways, but we still got a lot. We still got a long way to go. Um, so yeah, that's just it. Leaving our legacy, like letting it be like this is what we've done, this is what we did, and we say thank you. So because that
Hey,
we all know that end is coming. I don't want to say it's tomorrow, but you know, real life stuff.
of
All
course.
of us in our careers and just our lives, things change. So we just want to make sure that whatever we do, it means something. So
Gotcha. No, again, it's definitely one of those things that you have to look at it that way. But you guys definitely, again, the end isn't anytime soon, hopefully, but you guys have made that name and made that legacy already, and it continues to grow. And it continues to grow this Sunday with Let's Go. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you get your tickets because it is going to be a stacked event. It's the return event for Battle Club Pro. It's the return to Brooklyn. So you guys are not going to want to miss out. Links to both that and to be able to follow everyone involved there are going to be in the description down below, including Janelle right there. Follow her on Instagram right there. Follow the Jobbers Tears podcast on its social medias right there, on Instagram right there, on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Again, it's an app right there. Go follow them.
it's so funny because all the social media stuff the boys handle. I don't even touch. I don't even have Bluebird. I don't even know what any of that social media. Like I don't like. I feel like I just show up. Like it's at that level. I just show up. It's fine. But I do a lot of the back behind the scenes stuff.
Got you. Got you.
But the
It's all
graphics, the
good.
editing, and all that stuff, like that stuff, I don't touch that stuff. But no, but please do follow all our social media platforms. All we're on SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're there.
Yep.
Tomorrow, tune in our 300th episode. 300th
That
episode.
is that is still again insane. Like
Ugh,
to get
it
again
is retarded.
these.
It's actually it's crazy to me. I'm like, what?
It was funny when I was looking at the numbers today. When I was looking at this, I'm like, oh man, it worked out because it's 250 today for Respect the Craft. And I'm like, it was insane when I did Darius's last night. We talked about it. The last time I had Darius on, it was a year before. So looking at how many have happened then and that growth, and just he even said it like the change is now visible here. And I'm like, this is what we do it for. Again, it's always evolving, always creating, always changing. And again, we do that again this Sunday. Again, if you guys haven't, make sure as well you're following Battle Club Pro on all of its social medias. You're going to want to stay up to date with all things Battle Club Pro, especially like Janelle said, stay tuned because those announcements for Jobber Slam are coming very
Coming.
soon.
They're coming. Like I'm gonna have to probably start taking some ass. I ain't gonna hold you, but it's for the community. It's for the culture. Like this year, and I mean we say every year it's for the culture. Every show is for the culture, but this one in particular, this one is for the culture. And I will just leave it at that.
There you go. We can't wait. And Kyle, thank you so much. And to everyone that is watching, we thank you guys. We hope to see you Sunday. And Janelle, thank you so much again for joining
Thank
me
you for
here.
having me. This was listen. I always tell people I'll jump on your show before I jump on mine. So whenever
No,
you're ready, if you need me, I am there. So just let me know.
oh, definitely so. We're definitely gonna have to do a part two, especially close to the Jobber Slam, because there's gonna be a lot to talk about, especially when those announcements start to rolling in.
Like ping, 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 ping. So, and I'm
Definitely.
excited because we're starting a lot earlier this year, so we literally have the entire summer to build
There you go.
to
No, I
test.
definitely. It's gonna be one of those. By the time that like few weeks range hit, it's like we might have that first time. Hey, if you haven't gotten your tickets now, you might want to hurry up.
Series.
so,
That's the goal. The goal is
mm,
500. I'm just gonna
so
say between you and me, this goal is 500. So
there
we're
you go.
really excited to see it. Also, too, and I'll leave it on that note. With it being job, we're basically gonna call it Jobber Fan Weekend, but we actually will be having a brunch viewing party for All In the day after. So we will be able to make it a whole weekend of extravaganzas and events and things like that. But once again, we have all summer. We will be releasing things as time goes on. So just stay tuned.
There you go, folks. Again, this is why you're gonna want to follow Jobber Slam, follow Jobber Tears podcast, follow the Battle Club pages just so you stay up to date. And thank you guys as well. As always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people. Respect the craft, and we'll see you guys on the next one.